You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very sweet. Okay? It's really cool. We're good?
I just wondering how much it would cost.
We'll call the work session to order. Today's April 3rd and it's approximately 4:30. Who wants to go first?
There's nothing attached to it.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
For Courtney, I think about. It's 7.89, the award of change of order. It's not for a huge amount, it's $1,300 and change. But my question is like, when the change of orders come in, is it in addition to an original amount, or is it part of something that you're just like waiting to implement, or is it part of the original budget?
So it's not part of the original budget, so we're requesting the approval of those additional funds to cover something that wasn't in the original bid specs.
Okay.
So it's a change in what was originally ordered for the project. And typically we'll put a contingency in the plan. There wasn't one included, and that's why I've come to you a couple times with these smaller items that a lot of time will come up when you're doing a larger project like this, but that money is not coming out of, it's coming out of our Parks and Beautification Capital Project, that all of
So like
these.
the big umbrella.
Yeah, at the last meeting, I did the financial update on kind of where we're at with all that money, and so it's drawing down on that balance.
Okay.
Is that,
Awesome.
is that?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Okay,
No.
yeah, of course.
There's no disagreement.
Should I stay up here if anybody?
Anybody else have any?
Well, I did send out an email last night. I did receive your response, Mayor, about,
Still trying to hook up with them, honest to God.
okay.
We tried to
I have
hook
no
up when I was in Albany.
So no updates since that meeting we had all
You
like
know
last
me.
year.
Yeah.
You know
that
more than
was
I
the
do at
last
this
one.
point. Believe it or not. So.
Okay. Okay.
I'd like to tell you different.
All right. Has ESD contacted us? Is there any?
Steve Hunt was here today.
Who was?
Steve Hunt from ESD.
Oh, and no discussion about this? or-
Nope, nothing about that. It was just a generalized meeting we had this morning. He was in town, so he wanted to stop by and say hi. And he didn't have anything further to add from what, had from previous. But we did speak about some new initiatives maybe that are going to be forthcoming, but we have to wait for the budget to be passed.
The New York State budget?
The New York State budget.
Is it still not passed yet?
Not passed.
Not passed yet.
So we have to wait and see what happens, and hopefully we have more Restore New York grants, opportunities, or, other opportunities as well. So
Are the Restore New York grants in any way tied to any federal funding? Is that strictly a New York funded New York grant opportunity?
It's my impressions, it is. I haven't received any word otherwise. We still have our application out pending. It was supposed to, I think originally when we applied, we were gonna find out about awards around the end of March. So we're now just over that timeline, and we still haven't heard anything. So we're waiting to see what the results are.
Yes.
From the last one that we applied for?
Yeah, and then no announcement for the next one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I have any questions about your report. I did read it. Looking for. Put it in your report now and just can't find it. You're waiting for an update on the scope of that great opportunity that the council declined, and then we're re-pursuing it. So I can't find it in here, and I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, so I have been working with OPRHP to understand what the process would be to amend that contract. I've also been doing an analysis of the original budget for that contract, just to really fully understand if we approach the end state entity to reduce the contract, we still have to prove that we're able to fulfill the original objectives of the grant. I have concerns about our ability to do that if we reduce the scope of work. And I put together a memo that I've shared with the mayor, and we discussed that would be shared with all of you, and we could discuss that more at the next council meeting. I didn't want to spring it on you guys.
At the end of April, you mean?
At the end of, at the next council, yeah,
She's gonna send it, as we were planning on getting it out tomorrow.
I'm gonna send, yeah. I'll
Yeah,
send
so
it.
that everybody can see. We looked at there's some things with that I didn't realize, so I think this will explain. There's two aspects to the grant, and I think we'll let you guys look at it, and see what you think.
Yeah, I got a lot of, it's got a lot of information in it, so I'll send it out so that you can sort of start to digest, and then if you have any questions, and then we can either answer over email, or I can chat more at the next work session about it. I think what my goal will be at the next work session is for us to collaborate on a final determination of awarding that contract or not. Because we're about to start applying for other grants, and if we have this one just still kind of sitting open but with no progress, it's really gonna start to affect whether we're awarded for other things, and I don't want to miss out on those other opportunities, so.
And then I see in the update, we're moving forward on that beach dune restoration project. We've got the RFP was released.
Yep, and we're due for proposals next week on that one.
I'm really excited about that.
Me too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love our beach so
and
much.
it's gonna make it more beautiful and also more eco-friendly.
Yeah. And then I saw in the Sun community, the photo op of the bathroom being renovated. Looks good so far.
Yeah, they've done a nice job. I mean, that kudos that my team. that
Mike's team.
worked on that, designing that, and but no, I think I'm really excited to open that up and share that with the public. I think folks are gonna be really excited to see that investment in our city beach and those amenities. Gonna have an outdoor shower. That's like, people are gonna be so excited about that.
Yeah, we gotta get it to our Canadian neighbors, too, that we are still in business, and we do still welcome them.
Yeah. I see that you put in here new grant opportunity, municipal parks and recreation grant. Whatever's program. One thing, and I don't think we've ever really talked about it seriously, but if there's a grant opportunity available, I wouldn't mind pursuing it, and that is adding a nice but it's basically a play set in the beach area, like,
Yeah.
to match what the state park has, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
And we have lots of property available for that.
Yeah.
In
In our beach master plan, a playground is called out in the plan, and if you look at where the playground is cited, it's cited where our current vendor building exists. And that's because in the plan, when the plan was all sort of said and done, that vendor building wasn't gonna exist anymore because there was gonna be a much larger vendor complex built a little bit to the north. And so we have now we have sort of this interesting decision, of what's been called out in the plan, and then also how we want to move things forward, and whether we, what of that plan do we actually decide to implement or not. And so if we wanted to move forward with the playground, deciding where we would put that playground is sort of part of that, but it's definitely included, it's definitely on my mind. Love a playground.
Yeah, because I think that it just adds to the appeal of families.
Yeah.
What if that ever comes to fruition for us? I think we would need to keep in mind the blistering sunshine that comes out of that parking lot, and whatever design or whatever we looked at, we have to definitely keep that in mind. But I would love to see that happen.
Yeah, and I think that, we, a couple years ago, we applied for some different grants that were to implement parts of the beach plan. One of them we got, which is the dune restoration plan. We also did a grant that in that scope of work, there were improvements to the boardwalk, improvements but to create the pedestrian pier and a docking pier. And so I think we used, that might have been through Office of Parks and Recreation, but it could have also been through DEC. So I think if we're revisiting some of those implementation plans, including a playground in that scope of work, could also be part of like our strategy to get in there. Or, or it's like, do we just go after a grant for the playground solely, or does it fold into something larger?
Yeah, I'm just thinking that if there is a municipal parks and recreation grant program, and there is an opportunity for us to find, to get money to do something like that, I think we should go for it, because I think there's a lot of uncertainty. We all know this. We're all glued to the news like everybody else. Financial uncertainty, and if there's an opportunity, I think
Yeah.
we should
How do we
be
make our
all in
pitch?
to try and take advantage of them because, you know, I was in office 5 years ago when we had to deal with the pandemic lockdown and with the financial repercussions of that and on and on and on. And anything can happen. Money can dry up and opportunities can disappear. So I would like to see if that is at all possible, if you
Yeah.
can with this grant.
Yeah, I think there's actually 2 rounds of this grant, so this is the first round and there will be a second round later. It's competitive. There's only $10 million in the first round and the maximum request that a application can make is $1 million. So, you know, we're not talking about a lot of awards. There's also not to be the Debbie Downer, but there's also something in the grant that they're gonna be doing priority projects closer to the New York City area with this funding. I think there's like a 40% of these funds will be specifically going into funding for New York City playgrounds. So just to,
Okay.
you know, it's
Mhm.
one opportunity and we're gonna go for it because we're positioned to, you know, with our Parks Renewal Project and I'll keep going for it. But I also am very excited and then I have to like temper my excitement too with some of this other information. But it's encouraging that this is a new grant opportunity and hopefully it continues to get funded. So there's multiple rounds that we can keep utilizing it. So.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if there aren't other grant opportunities available out there for financially stressed communities
Mhm.
like our own.
Yeah, we get
Yeah.
certain sort of designation.
And while we're on the topic of beach,
Yeah,
and I'm not sure if this is your area specifically or not, but I know that we've engaged in by email about the stage that is just sitting out there. Would like to see a plan for that in the as the weather is getting better. We used to have, again, 5 years ago when it was the lockdown, the social distancing, we had Mr. Pomerantz who was doing the little, what did he call it? Curbside at Harborside, I think was the little thing he did, and it was used and people were there.
Yeah.
But city, and that this at the time when we purchased the materials to make that stage happen, it
Yeah.
was a brawl on the council about how we're gonna pay for it and how much and this and that.
yeah.
And, you know, there was some consternation about it and it's just sitting unused.
Yeah.
And I hate to see that.
Well, I think it would be, I mean, I don't put you on the spot, but I do know we have, do you wanna talk a little bit about a couple of the events? I do know it's involved, the stage is involved in a few things we do have going on at the City Beach this summer. So we've got, our Mayor's Cup concert, which is gonna happen on July 12th. So we'll have a performance from, can I say? Is it confirmed? You wanna say? I don't wanna keep putting you on. Okay, Don Tyler Watson, will be performing, for the Mayor's Cup. We've got our Lake City Running Festival that's happening next month. They're utilizing the stage, area as sort of their, you know, post-race celebration area. I think we have a couple church groups and community groups utilizing it this summer.
Yeah, we'll definitely be getting more requests
Yeah.
to use the stage and the lawn
In the
area.
lawn area, yeah. So I think just so that you know, to give context to of what's being used, and then that's not to say that there is an opportunity to increase the usage, right? And to really make sure that we're using this resource to the most that we, you know, absolutely can. And so we're finding ways to get it out to the community. And then also as the city kind of utilize it for different events as well, but.
Yeah, and I would like to see that promoted and utilized as much as possible because the more people who
Yeah.
are inside the city of Plattsburgh, the more spending is happening inside the city of Plattsburgh. And as we are concerned with tariffs and Canadian traffic and so on, anything we can do to make events attractive and interesting to people and bring them here, I think is more crucial than ever.
Yeah.
And it can be with the stage and events. It could be Trinity Park events. I mean, you and I had spoken about this years ago when Caitlin Bob was still on the council about using Trinity Park dedicated to monthly themes,
Yeah.
you know, that are available and just
Yeah.
like your everyday calendar and
Yeah.
really turning that into a festival space. I would love to see something like that happen. And that would be an opportunity to utilize the stage and music and
Yeah.
anything we can do to promote our beautiful city.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
is something we should be really going for.
We've got some good updates happening on our Discover Plattsburgh website as well. That was a whole initiative funded through DRI funds, and have folks been on discoverplattsburgh.com recently? It's great. It's got beautiful pictures. It's really, you know, it kind of captures like the essence of the city. It's got our bike paths on it. It's got our events listed, so you can see, you know, what events we're doing this season. And we're gonna be adding a whole page that highlights the city beach on that website so that it's, you know, picture forward, friendly to our Canadian visitors, gives everybody all of the information of like what to do, how to get prepared, what to expect when you come to the city beach. Right now, that information lives on our regular city website, but it's not as engaging. It's, you know, it doesn't have the same type of like user experience. It's more practical information. And so we're adding this beach page to the Discover Plattsburgh website to sort of promote it in a more sort of like tourist focused way. Along with that is also, and this is all work that's being done by Emma, I should say, is adding an arts and culture page. So that would be a page that's really highlighting our art and cultural institutions and organizations and events. So everything from linking to the Strand, to Adirondack Regional Theater, to the Battle of Plattsburgh, to Clinton County Historical Association. So it's a little bit of like a hub of, you know, here's where to go, directing people to different places, but it's sort of meant to give somebody the experience of like, hey, I want to go to Plattsburgh, what's going on here? You type in what to do, and then they're like, whoa, look at, there's arts and culture, there's beach, there's lots of, you know, so we really do want to continue to position that website as sort of like our visitor facing, sort of the first thing that people are interacting with the city of Plattsburgh, so that they're getting our best foot forward. Yeah. So yeah, please, you know, we'll continue to promote that. Would love for you folks to continue to promote it. It's great that we're, you know, using funds from 10 years ago, and the site is still, you know, working, you know, its way, and we're building on it and adding on it. And if folks ever have any feedback on things that, you know, you'd want to see included, we're happy to do that too. Got our bike trails up there, which is great. So anyway.
Yeah,
I'm glad
I
we're-
love all the quality of life trails that are in the city.
Yeah.
I utilize them a lot myself, my son. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. So thank you.
Cool, thank you.
We went for a walk the other day down. Talked to a lot of business owners and asked them what we could do. And we got some really, I think we got some really great ideas. It was really cool talking to a lot of the shop owners, and they have so many great ideas, different things we can do to promote downtown and different things. Like one of them was windows, just and putting an app out and showing where they are and have people drive around or walk around down, preferably walk around downtown and rate everybody's window decorations.
Mhm.
We brought that to some of the other, it was really cool. We got some really cool ideas, I think. And then we got to finish it. We went with Sunrise Rotary, and it was really good. I mean, I really enjoyed it. So we got to get out more often and just talk to, there's so many great ideas out there. We just need to, these folks have been here for so many years. They know what works and what doesn't. And, you know, there's no sense recreating wheels that are already made. So that was fun. And they did announce today, Mike, we were talking about the wall the other day down at the river. There's funding coming out. There's a new grant, so we can maybe put in, we will be putting in for a grant to redo the wall down here at Saranac River.
What wall? What are we talking?
Right, the one you can see,
Well,
the,
it's flying.
yeah, the one that's falling in right now.
On by both monuments or?
Yeah,
just
it's just below the line right here.
So,
because the other one is,
Yeah,
it's been that way. It's, you know, when the city had an engineering department, that was something that should have been handled a long time ago. But we've kind of brought it to their attention when they did the cleanup in Saranac River. That should have been the appropriate time,
but there's some money out there right now, Mike, just got announced, and I think you must have prompted it, because we actually were talking about it the other day. And they did announce the money coming out today, so we will be putting in for grants to repair those. And not saying we're gonna get them, but it is out there, so.
what was the email we got from the Saranac Trail? Did you?
That's a year end. There was year ends, yeah, their review of the year, what they've done and what they're looking at doing next year.
And
regardless of the grant, we're gonna have to take a serious look at it.
We do.
this coming year.
Right.
Leave a lot of stone on the river. When the water goes down, we'll get a better assessment of it.
Hopefully by then we'll figure out what we can do with grant money too, so. I think it's important that we get that done.
I sent everybody, and Beth added my notes to our meeting folder. A bunch of information about the food waste. Policy that the city passed in 2022, and I reconnected with Kurt Gervich about the, how the comprehensive master plan works with the climate smart action plan. And I had a small meeting I guess it's last Friday, with Jennifer Perry and Cody Douglas and Dagan Benoit. And we just kind of talked about the policy that was passed that hasn't been enforced, what the Climate Smart Task Force has been talking about. Cody, I guess, did a presentation to the task force, Alicia, on the 19th. He's very interested in coming to the council, and you've got an insect coming your way, Julie. Don't send him over my way. He's interested in doing a presentation to the council to talk about the Eat Smart Waste Less grant, and it's expanded more than what we applied for back in 2022. Well, it would depend, but it has more resource availability than what we did when we partnered with them back in 2022. And I don't know if we are interested in moving forward on enforcing the policy that's in place. And I did email everybody about that, and I don't know if there's any interest in having Cody come and present. So Alicia, did you want to speak more thoroughly as task force coordinator about his presentation on the 19th, or?
So I'm happy to,
We were just talking about a bunch of stuff. We had a meeting last night too.
Right.
Which was actually pretty good.
Yeah, so we just had a task force leadership meeting last night that the mayor was invited to. So we could work towards coordinating task force priorities with city priorities and make sure that we're as much in alignment as possible. But as far as Cody's presentation, the task force has actually been working with him on another sub-action of Climate Smart Communities PE5. So not the internal operations waste reduction policy that's already been adopted, but towards a greater community rollout and expansion of an existing system that the county already has in place. And looking at ways we can further partner with them under the grant that the county has, which I believe has a deadline of maybe September 5th or something. So we've got to be pretty quick acting on it. And the task force, so he presented to the task force last meeting, and we're looking to, once we narrow down our options, the task force does, then bringing those options as a proposal to the council with Cody to further present. So
Okay.
I don't have his detailed presentation with me, but it's something that I've been informing the council on, and it's our intent to get all of that information to you once it's ready.
Yeah, so one of the things that he did share when we met is if we decide we want to participate in this grant, it could cover food hauling costs for up to a year. There are a lot of avenues to pursue with this particular grant that fall in very nicely with the comprehensive master plan that we passed, which is let's get food out of the landfill. And I think we've got an opportunity to continue to move forward, and I think that we should seriously consider it as a city.
So what I'm not understanding, that it's not clear to me right now, is if your proposal is just for internal operations, or if you're also proposing something in addition to the existing policy. And if that's the case, the task force is working on it.
Right, so I'm talking about actually both.
Okay.
So the food waste policy that we passed in 2022 has nothing to do with the task force at this point, because the policy has been passed
Mhm.
and it's a policy passed that isn't being enforced. So that would have to come from the mayor's office about if he wants to move forward with pursuing a food hauler and figuring out who's going to be the food waste champion. I mean, that is completely in the hands of the mayor at this point. And that would be just for the municipal buildings.
Okay,
And I see another opportunity with a partnership with the Clinton County Health Department, which has absolutely nothing to do with our original food waste policy, but it could supplement. It's just something that I think if we pursued the other grant with the health department, we could be looking at a bigger approach citywide that could be really all encompassing.
and that's what we're working, the task force is working with Cody on. So if if you want the task force to continue its work along those lines, they'll be happy to, but if you're proposing that somebody else takes this project on,
Oh, no, I'm not.
we'll stand down.
One thing we spoke about last night too was bringing on Plattsburgh Housing Authority, because I think we were overlooking some of the obvious. Plattsburgh Housing Authority would be a great partner in this as well. If we did this all as a city, the way we're supposed to be doing this. I mean, we have Long Building over here, we have the high rises on the other side, we have housing over there. I think as a partnership, we were talking last night to expand this, not to just City Hall. I mean, we have 20 people.
Absolutely.
So I think we need to look at it as a bigger picture personally. If we want to make an impact, I think we need to have more partnerships with other entities in the city. I think that housing would be a huge partner. And we've talked about getting hold of Mark and sitting down with Mark Hamilton and doing this in housing as well. And we can go to Beacon Towers and we can pull these other groups in. I think that would be so beneficial in a lot of ways. This would take big numbers versus the little numbers we have just in city buildings. And it would be all inclusive, but
Jennifer Perry would be the food hauler, or
Well,
one, she's an option?
she's-
or-
That would,
It would have to be determined,
Right.
but
right.
she's a qualified hauler that
Okay.
would be
But
considered.
it would be a bid process or whatever.
Like,
right. And that would be with the mayor's office. That wouldn't be the
But I'm
council.
just saying, I
Okay,
think-
overseeing the bid process
You
and
know, because I mean, we have like 24 people here in this building, and we have, depending, but if we get long apartments involved as well, that would be huge,
Right.
well,
and-
that doesn't fall under the municipal food waste policy, though. I mean, that would be something that would be pursued as,
I think it can though, can it? I
no,
mean,
because it's not a municipal building that we own.
right, but if we did it in conjunction with them.
Then that's not through the food waste
Right.
policy of 2022. That would be different
Right.
endeavor altogether.
And it could all depend on how the proposal is structured, right?
Right.
So, there potentially, we haven't dove deep enough into creating a proposal and going through all the different options of how to build out the existing model for collection that the county has. But we will be looking at different properties that we can partner with that are easy access, and also potentially looking at the parks, which are easy access public space. And they're spread out across the city. But I think that the biggest thing, logistics wise, that we'll have to look at is how to manage the access. So what the task force is looking to do is conduct a brainstorming effort, and then construct a proposal and bring that to the council. And part of that will be looking at the different properties, the different projects or partners and stakeholders. And one of the things that we would like to do as well is, involve entities like DPW and/or Casella, because they have experience in managing waste already. So we're not the experts. So it would be a holistic approach, and then we're hoping to get something forward to the council in the next few months.
Jennifer Perry is she is an expert on food waste reduction.
Sure.
And I mean, I
And I'm not trying to exclude anybody.
right, I just, Casella and Jennifer Perry would probably be in competition for the same business, and I would just urge caution about how it's, how either or both, neither, I don't know, are introduced
Yeah.
into the discussion process, knowing that they could be competitive for each other. I just want to put that up.
Drop hers off too, right?
No,
Do her
she
own
has her, no,
mechanics.
she has
She
her
has her own
own
mechanics.
self-sustained machine that she and her partner built, and it's up in Redford. I went and toured the site when we partnered with her in 2022. It's a massive barrel. It's a digester, and the food waste goes in one end. She's got the microbes that are in there, and they churn it periodically, and what comes out on the other side is black soil that you would like buy at Lowe's to put on your
That's
grass.
selling too, so they're doing a big, they got a pretty big system too, so, and again, I mean, that's not here and there, both are good.
She's much cheaper.
Yeah.
Much cheaper.
DPW goes, so we could use their input, but we're
A
not
lot.
considering
Right.
to try to like.
And she's
put this on them.
No, not at all. No,
I
Okay.
like keeping the money local.
I mean-
Business local.
unless it makes good
Sense too.
sense too, and they have the capacity, but no, I mean, just with the design of it and there can be blind spots.
Yeah.
Unintended consequences that everybody on the task force might not see the same way as somebody, you know, who deals with that system on a daily basis. Yeah,
Okay, so I'll look forward to hearing more then. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
and yeah, the task force is really excited to work on this, so it will be work.
Is this, just one last question, is this policy that never really got implemented still valuable, or is it? Like
It's-
something that we're gonna need to rework because it's not been implemented and I don't know.
It is a policy that was unanimously passed.
Mhm.
After we passed the policy, it was part of the grant opportunity with the Clinton County Health Department. Back then, it was also called Eat Smart, Waste Less, but our grant award was small, it was $5,000, but what that covered is it covered training for employees. They created all the materials, so there was a small video that was created, laminated materials so that everywhere where there was a food waste bucket, you would know exactly what to put in there.
It was it was implemented, I mean.
No, it was trained, but it was never implemented to the point where we paid a food hauler to pick up the food waste from the municipal buildings. And the hindrance was, the grant purchased buckets so that you would have like a countertop bucket and you would put your food waste in there, but somebody had to take it from there and empty it outside the building in the food bin that Jennifer would come and pick up on, as part of her service. And we needed to pay her. And we went through the process to secure, what would a contract look like? How much would it cost and so on. So she followed the entire process from inception through the audit, the training, the materials, but it stopped when, mayor at the time did not want to move forward paying her to pick up food waste outside of the buildings. And what was always part of the larger plan when I was involved is using this as a way to start a citywide process where the outside bins, outside the municipal buildings, the ones that we designate to be participants, would be open to residents. Because we would already have a food hauler and employees could bring in their food waste from home, other members of the community, this was part of a larger plan that we worked on. And Kurt Gervich's students actually created a small model citywide food waste reduction program. It was an extensive project. So it was never enforced because we never got to that point of, well, we paid a food hauler and we have a designated food waste champion who's going to oversee dumping the bucket into the larger retention bucket outside the building. So that's where it ended. So it's a policy that's passed. It definitely still has merit because the audit demonstrated that, yes, some buildings produce more food waste than others, but whatever food that you get out of the landfill is better for the environment. And it is an inexpensive way to have a maximum benefit to the environment. there is a lot of environmental impact in getting food waste out of the
The
food.
co-op has a system now.
Right.
And they have that. You
Oh,
can go down and look at their.
Thanks, Alicia.
Their whole thing. So. We discussed it all last night, so it's actually a good meeting. It's fun. It's always fun to meet. So.
I wanted to bring up something that isn't on the agenda at all, but something that I thought of. It's April. And our charter is clear that we need to have a 5-year plan in June, and it should be passed and approved by the council first. I think the charter says first week of June, basically. I think that we should be spending work sessions, maybe the end of the rest of April and into May, talking about how we're going to build that 5-year plan, because it is one of the council's responsibilities. And I wanted to bring that up. We would need to understand what our role in the 5-year plan is, understand what the charter says our role and responsibilities are, and how we could go forward on that. So I wanted to bring that up now so that we've all got some time to think about it. We didn't do one last year, which, you know, should have been done, but it wasn't. So I'd like to put that on everybody's radar and, you know, maybe make some room for our next council meeting to talk about it. Yeah. Okay. And part of the 5-year plan, get the charter out.
This one, and then this one. We have to go to executive session before it's over. So we just, you know, we can probably go another 5 minutes or so. And I'll ask, ask permission to go into executive session.
Okay.
So.
Oh,
we have
okay.
anything
Yes, I
pressing?
just want to say one last thing about that. So powers and duties of the council as enshrined by the charter says to prepare a 5-year plan to guide the growth and development of the city. The plan shall include revenue and expenditure trends and project projections, goals and plans for improving the efficiency of the city government, desirable public projects and programs, and such other matters as may assist the mayor and the council in managing the city. And the plan shall be adopted by resolution, revised annually to include year 5 and reflect such changes as may be appropriate. Plan should be adopted and modified by June 1st of each year. So I would suggest that with our meeting next time, we start talking about that process. So I wanted to put that on everybody's radar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one more thing. We have a bill for $25,000 and I don't understand
That was my thing.
it. So I just want to.
It's a-
bring that up.
It's a corporate council, it's $25,000 and there's not much to it, so is it?
Blanket PO, we do blanket POs for a lot of our vendors, and it's
It's just setting the requisition up for the year.
yeah.
To pay off
the
that.
requisition.
Pay the bill.
So that as they go, as they bill it?
Yeah, you guys would still have to approve everything that gets paid into it, that it sets it up for the whole year.
So you go up to 25,000 and then that will bill off that without asking us every time, or you'll still ask us.
It's not
every
cool.
time?
We'll still ask you to sign something every time, but
Yeah.
that would be the
Okay.
invoice, not a requisition.
Thanks for explaining that.
Thank you. That was very clear. Not understand. Yeah. Are you, are we asking for an executive session now?
Do you have, maybe a couple minutes. I mean, I figured I was gonna try to do it for the last 15 minutes, so with any other pressing, I'd rather get any questions you have about any of the resolutions tonight.
No, I'll ask those.
Anybody's got anything?
I'm ready to go to executive session.
Does anybody, any of the department heads have anything they want to bring up? Okay. I'd like to request a brief executive session for this discussions regarding proposing pending current litigation and proposed acquisition, sale, lease of real property. Do I have a motion? First by Councilor Gibbs, seconded by Councilor Evans, excuse me. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Well, executive session.
Next time I can take it off. Yeah. I see them come around the thing and you get come out of my helmet.
Okay.
Uh,
These all the rest of the bills? They got, they got
Ma'am.
stuck. Five thirty up the top.
Oh, it's at 350.
No, we get last year.
I like to collect them.
Okay, I hear you.
Take a motion to come out of executive session. Councilor Gibbs, seconded by Councilor Manette. All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Carried. There was no, yeah, we were there for. What was the real property?
Post pending,
For 15 minutes, for what?
post pending litigation.
Right, and there was no action taken.
Acquisition of sale or leasing of property.
Take we'll call the work session. Over at this point. We don't need a motion for that one, do we? Right, so right now it's 5:30, so we'll take, you guys need a minute or?
I do need a minute.
Okay. Any review?
Massive.
We set? We call the regular session of the Common Council to order. Please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Hughes,
Here.
Counselor Bond,
Here.
Counselor Evans,
Here.
Counselor Gibb,
Here.
Counselor Talon.
Here.
Counselor Manette,
Here.
Counselor Colleen. Here. Resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of the Common Council held on March 20th, 2025 are approved and placed on file among the public records of the city clerk's office.
Moved by Councilor Gibbs, seconded by Councilor Colleen. Roll call.
Counselor Bond,
Yes.
Counselor Evans.
Yes.
Counselor Gibb,
Yes.
Talon.
Yes.
Manette,
Yes.
Counselor Colleen.
Yes.
Here.
Anybody here to make public comment? You're allowed 5 minutes. Yes, sir. Please identify yourself, name and address for the record, please. Thank you, sir. Mr. Howden? It's been a couple of years, sir. Yes, it is. He was my science teacher. You too? And
my
so
God,
probably
mine
everybody
too.
up here.
Mine too.
Oh, my God.
And coach.
Yes.
You still owe
Yeah.
me 5 suicide drills.
I didn't.
We didn't have to say that publicly.
There was a long story.
Yeah, can we do those suicide drills
Because
now?
I put my timer on and he got me thrown out of my only basketball game as a coach too, because I was protecting him. He was our enforcer on the basketball team, as you can understand. All right, I am here today, as you have in front of you, to do no May resolution that is put in front of you. My name is John Hobner. I live at 37 Hillcrest Avenue, where I've lived for the last 46 years. I'm a former science teacher, Plattsburgh City School District, and also a former master gardener in part of the Cornell Cooperative Extension for Clinton County. I was also the lawn person who ran a lot of workshops with regard to that with science-based information. My purpose is to look at the proposed resolution by my very esteemed counselor Gibbs, who I have a great deal of respect for. And I am in no way going to run against you because I disagree with you. First of all, I think you all know what and I'm going to provide science-based information, hopefully. It all started in 2019 in the United Kingdom. It moved across the ocean to our country. And during 2020 and the pandemic, it really was able to catch on because of the pandemic and people were able to think about those kinds of things. It has that catchy title. It's a feel-good movement. Yes, there's a little bit of tongue in cheek when I say that. And the concept again being no mow for 1 month, the month of May. And the idea is to support the pollinators, the bees, the butterflies, the other insects and the birds and other types of things. A very noble thing to do. And I'm not going to dispute that we should not be doing that. It's just whether or not you should approach the no mow May idea. First of all, scientific studies. It's a new phenomenon, this whole idea of the no mow May. So as a result of that, there have not been many peer-reviewed scientific studies. There have been a few, but most of them have not been as part of urban landscapes. Most of them have been in meadows and fields of athletics facilities, etc. So therefore, there's nothing real strong. However, when you do research online and elsewhere, you'll see that a majority of scientists are not in favor of it. Cornell University, which is our land grant university in the state of New York, and it supports all of the cooperative extensions throughout New York State, and is the educational arm, if you will, for providing gardening information, horticultural information and so forth, has not come out with an official statement. However, there have been a number of researchers who are currently doing some very small studies to look at it, and they basically, again, are not for it. Again, nothing definitive. So I just want to make that very clear. By the way, I'm also not in any way part of the district or cooperative extensive any longer, and I'm not speaking for them. I want that to also be clear that I was speaking for myself. The reasons, if you flip over the paper, if you're looking at it, for not supporting the no mow May is number one, we have cool season grasses in New York State. And that means that May is still relatively cool. And also, therefore, the grasses will really move along quickly. And there's extra water in the ground. There's vigorous new shoots. The grass, because of this, will outgrow weeds and flowering weeds that are currently growing there. An example, dandelions. They'll outgrow them. Therefore, as they grow higher, they will then shade them out. They will block them out from the bees and the other insects, etc. While there's no studies, I did an informal study, if you will, in my own yard. I live next door. My lot is adjacent to a very large churchyard lot, mostly lawn. And last year during May, all of a sudden it kept growing. And, you know, as I mow a lawn, I noticed it, my lawn, I noticed it kept going. I figured, oh, they're doing no May. Well, it wasn't that. But they did allow it to grow for 5 weeks before they finally cut it. And it was approximately 10 to 12 inches, easily, maybe even higher than that. And the reason is they lost their lawn care people, and they were kept looking for new people. That's what I later found out. What I found is some critters that resulted. And I had mice in my yard, not a lot, a few, but they were dead in different locations. I don't normally have the mice dead next to their yards, by the way. There was a lot of pollen and other weeds, things that were flowering over to my yard. Okay, I can deal with it, but I just want to let you know. It was obviously not very attractive. Many other neighbors in the area were not very happy about it when they found out the reason. And the other one, which all of a sudden eludes me, and I'll come back to it later. As the grass grows, it creates a great deal of stress on it, and there can be fungal growth within the lawn because of that's not supposed to grow like that. There are invasive weeds that come into the lawn, critters and insects, mice, snakes, rats, mosquitoes, ticks, and other insects. Are there ticks in the city of Plattsburgh? Yes. Several of my friends who hike around, and I see a couple heads shaking, in Ruger Woods, for example, he said it's loaded with them. His dog comes back covered with ticks, and he also mentioned Point of Rush, which is not the city, obviously. So that is a concern. On June 1st, what happens? You have 10 inches of grass, and you have to cut it. How many people have machinery and equipment to be able to easily cut a lawn that's at that height? Once you cut it, the stress that has weakened the lawn has additional weeds in it. The weeds have taken over. There's invasive weeds that have moved in. And then what does the homeowner do? They apply herbicides because they have all this extra things that we don't necessarily want to happen. Extra additional herbicides. Also, what happens to the bees? The bees already know. Am I all right here?
You're getting closer.
Okay.
I hate to do that.
No. I'm almost done anyway. The bees are used to finding, once they find the food, they messenger to other bees and themselves. And now when they come back, they're no longer there. Okay. Then the last thing is aesthetics and neighbors, unsightly property, property values, weeds and pollen transfer to neighbors. They get their weeds, they're not too happy about it. Code violation, I know you can dispense with that, but it is 10 inches in the city. And a happy neighbor, happy life is a famous, oh, no, wait, it's not that, is it? No, anyway, the whole idea is it's not popular with a lot of the neighbors. Yes, they try to understand. Okay, what are their alternatives? What can you do instead of having a no-mow May? First of all, have pollinator gardens. There's so many resources out there where you can make your gardens in your own lot with pollinator flowers, which will go all summer long and therefore take care of them. They're excellent. Mow lawns less frequently in May. So therefore, you can allow the dandelion to grow. By the way, the dandelion is not the best source for bees. The white clover is. Have a permanent area of your lawns. I know a few people, friends, who have one section of their lawn in their backyard where they let it grow and just go all summer long. Again, good for the bees. And also mow the lawn at your highest setting. I said that, I think. And then wildflower meadow lawn. There are a lot of big seed companies now that are offering seed packages that are called meadow wildflower lawns where you can grow them throughout. I can provide, if anybody needs anything at a later date, more detailed resources can be provided. I wanted to get a broad overview. Are there any quick questions? No. One. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good seeing you. Okay, great. Thanks, Dominic.
That's pretty cool. Anyone else for public comment? Just your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, my name is April Wood. I live at 53 Green Street in Plattsburgh. Good evening, Mayor Hughes, City Council members, and fellow community members. I stand before you today seeking clarity and transparency regarding the ongoing concerns surrounding the Plattsburgh Police Department and the city's handling of these concerns. Last November, the City Council declined a request for an independent investigation despite calls from the community and then Mayor Rosenquist, citing alleged illegal activity and wrongdoing within the department. Since then, public demand for an independent review has only intensified. On January 27th, 2025, Mayor Hughes entered into a contract with Rusin Consulting. According to the contract, Mr. Rusin was tasked with conducting a comprehensive review and analysis of the Plattsburgh Police Department. The scope of this consultation including assessing department policies, training programs, supervision structures, and disciplinary procedures with the intent of enhancing operational effectiveness and fostering a positive working environment. Additionally, this consultation was supposed to provide specific recommendations on critical policy and training needs, long-term areas of improvement, and leadership qualities required for the future chief executive. The city agreed to pay Rusin Consulting $75 per hour for travel, twice making 9-hour round trips to Plattsburgh, along with hotel accommodations. Additionally, the contract stipulated a rate of $175 per hour for document review, assessment, interviews, and fieldwork. In February, Mr. Rusin visited the Plattsburgh Police Department and conducted interviews. However, many officers were unaware of these interviews until the day they took place, and they were not informed of an independent investigation being performed. On February 14th, Mayor Hughes was asked by WCAX about this investigation. The news report stated that the City Council had quietly approved the investigation. In response, Mr. Hughes was quoted as saying, "I mean, how do you say we're going to look at everything in the public? It makes it kind of hard, I think." This statement appears to be an attempt to mislead the public into believing that an independent investigation was authorized and underway. Further compounding concerns, on February 13th, the Plattsburgh Police Officers Local 812 Union Body published the results of a vote of no confidence in Lieutenant Jared Tremblay, citing a lack of trust in his leadership. However, on February 22nd, Mayor Hughes dismissed the vote as a sign of Tremblay's accomplishments. once again misleading the public and disregarding the legitimate concerns of the officers who serve our city. Despite MM Rusin Consulting having made 2 visits to the police department in February, no timeline has been provided for the completion of the consultation report. I have submitted multiple FOIL requests for the results of this consultation on March 10th, March 25th, and March 30th, all of which have yielded no results. On March 30th, I expanded my FOIL request to include any written records, notes, emails, phone conversations, references, call logs, meeting minutes, or documentation related to the availability or exhaustion of funds for payments for MM Rusin Consulting. In response, the city clerk stated on March 31st that, quote, "there are no records pertaining to this request," unquote. Furthermore, I submitted a request on March 30th directly to Mr. Rusin for the results of his investigation. However, as he is a private entity, those records remain unavailable to the public. Adding to these concerns, it has become clear that Mayor Hughes intends for Lieutenant Jared Trombley to become the next chief of police. Given the lack of transparency surrounding the current investigation and the public's demand for accountability, this decision raises even more questions about the integrity of this process and whether it serves the best interests of the community and its officers. This lack of transparency raises serious concerns about the integrity of the process. Why has the public been kept in the dark about the findings of this consultation? Why are there no records of its progress? Why does it seem that our city leadership is actively avoiding accountability? The people of Plattsburgh deserve transparency and honesty from our elected officials. I urge the city council and Mayor Hughes to provide a clear and immediate update on the status of MM Rusin's Consulting's findings to ensure that the results are made public. The community will not settle for anything less than full transparency. Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? Seeing no more public comment, we will move on. Okay.
Received correspondence from the planning board. Council approved the payrolls of the various departments of the city of Plattsburgh for the weeks ending March 26, 2025, in the amount of $5,041.65. And April 2nd, 2025, in the amount of $580,774.87. The council approved the bills audited by the common council for the weeks ending March 28, 2025, in the amount of $2,600,231.13, and April 4th, 2025, in the amount of $609,652.70.
Any reports from our various departments or liaisons? Library?
Yeah, the public library invites writers of all levels to join its creative writing group, which meets on the second Wednesday of each month. The next session will be held on April 9th at 5:30 in the library's Smart.
Thank you. Councilor Thompson?
Okay, so the same day as the Plattsburgh Green Up, there's going to be an Earth Day Festival, and I'm working on that with some other people on the task force, and it's going to be from 12 until 2 on April 19th. It's a Saturday, and we're hoping for great weather. The weather forecast I'm seeing says pretty good weather, so we're hopeful. And it'll be for the tabling, it'll be 12 to 2, and we're gonna have an open mic there that day. We'll have some music going on, and then we'll see, like, you know, if anybody in the public wants to perform, and we might stretch it out another hour, maybe, if people want to participate. So put that on your calendar, April 19th. Thanks.
That's it for liaison report.
Item 7.82, mayoral appointment, Plattsburgh Housing Authority Board of Commissioners.
Moved by Councilor Talon, seconded by Councilor Bond. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilor Bond,
Yes.
Councilor Evans,
Yes.
Councilor Gibbs.
Yes.
Councilor Talon.
Yes.
Councilor Manette.
Yes.
Councilor Colleen.
Yes.
Carried. Item 7.83, authorizing drinking water infrastructure improvements project, CBM Smith, amendment number 1, bidding and construction administration services for phase 2.
Moved by Councilor Gibbs, seconded by Councilor Manette. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilor Bond,
Yes.
Councilor Evans,
Yes.
Councilor Gibbs.
Yes.
Councilor Talon.
Yes.
Councilor Manette.
Yes.
Yes.
Carried. Item 7.84 travel request, municipal lighting department.
Moved by Counselor Gibbs, seconded by Counselor Colleen. Any discussion? Roll call.
Counselor Bond.
Yes.
Counselor Evans.
Yes.
Counselor Gibbs.
Yes.
Counselor Talon.
Yes.
Counselor Net.
Yes.
Counselor Colleen.
Yes.
Carried. Item 7.85 travel request, police department.
Moved by Counselor Gibbs, seconded Counselor Colleen. Any discussion? Roll call.
Bond.
Yes.
Counselor Evans.
Yes.
Counselor Gibbs.
Yes.
Counselor Talon.
Yes.
Counselor Net.
Yes.
Counselor Colleen.
Yes.
Carried. Item 7.86 authorization agreement with Quabbin Valley Auction and Storage Facility.
Moved by Counselor Gibbs, seconded by Counselor Bond. Any discussion?
Yeah, could I get more explanation on this? I don't think the resolution is really encompassing of everything. It just says sign an agreement for purpose of listing and selling surplus property.
We're getting rid of some stuff that we should have got rid of a long time ago. Mike, I don't know if you want to elaborate.
Basically, we have 10, the neighborhood of 10 vehicles that we're gonna auction.
Oh,
That's all it is.
oh, I was thinking buildings. That's when.
No.
Oh, okay, that's why I'm
No.
very confused.
Their documents, it's in vehicles.
Yeah.
Auction.
Okay.
I think that that'll be, you can use, public works, yeah, a little bit everywhere.
Yeah, long overdue, I think. We're doing a little house cleaning, spring cleaning, shall we say.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Counselor Bond.
Yes.
Counselor Evans.
Yes.
Counselor Gibbs.
Yes.
Counselor Talon.
Yes.
Counselor Manette.
Yes.
Counselor Colleen.
Yes.
Carried. Item 7.87 adopt revised 2025 quarterly municipal lighting department board meeting schedule.
Moved by Counselor Gibbs, seconded by Counselor Manette. Any discussion? Roll call.
Counselor Bond.
Yes.
Counselor Evans.
Yes.
Counselor Gibbs.
Yes.
Counselor Talon.
Yes.
Counselor Manette.
Yes.
Counselor Colleen.
Yes.
Carried. Item 7.88 approval of award of 2025 fireworks bid.
Moved by Counselor Evans, second Counselor Colleen. Any discussion? Roll call.
Counselor Bond.
Yes.
Counselor Evans.
Yes.
Counselor Gibbs.
Yes.
Yes.
Counselor Manette.
Yes.
Counselor Colleen.
Yes.
Carried. Item 7.89 award of change order for the Melissa Pinto Park Second Bathroom Project.
Moved by Counselor Talon, second Counselor Gibbs. Any discussion? Roll call.
Counselor Bond.
Yes.
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 Counselor Talon.
Yes.
Counselor Manette.
Yes.
Counselor Colleen.
Yes.
Carried. Item 7.90 approving contract extension, contract WRF 2023-03, sodium thiosulfate for the city of Plattsburgh.
Moved by Counselor Gibbs, second Counselor Talon. Any discussion? Roll call.
Counselor Bond.
Yes.
Counselor Evans.
Yes.
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 Counselor Manette.
Yes.
Counselor Colleen.
Yes.
Carried. Item 30.91 resolution authorizing discontinuance of property assessment case filed by Key Bank National Association.
Moved by Counselor Cullen, second Counselor Evans. Any discussion? Roll call.
Counselor Bond.
Yes.
Counselor Evans.
Yes.
Counselor Gibbs.
Yes.
Counselor Talon.
Yes.
Counselor Manette.
Yes.
Counselor Colleen.
Yes.
Carried.
Any new business to come before this council?
I'd like to just share with the council that at Peru High School where I teach, we have an organization, the acronym is PACE, but I honestly don't know what it stands for, but we had a career fair and our Plattsburgh Fire Department members were there. And so just want to give a shout out to them. They were very professional, so great. It was an awesome opportunity. There were organizations and departments from all over the county there, airport, civil service, DEC, law enforcement. And I just wanted to recognize that the fire department was there and they were really great. So I just want to share that with everybody.
Any other business to come before the council? With no further reason for executive session, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Counselor Gibbs, second Counselor Evans. Roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
Counselor Gibbs.
Yes.
Talon.
Yes.
Yes.
Counselor Colleen.
Yes.
5:59, we'll call. Meeting adjourned.